So we are in the process of making Shin spoons here. This is what a lot of people consider the hardest part of a clone trooper build. And I gotta admit, I always do dread it when it comes up, but Shin spoons, show y'all how I do mine. So I've already kind of cut out the pieces parts. We've got our Shin spoons, and then the piece that came around it, I cut off that top edge, and I'm gonna glue that to the inside here, kind of as a guide, if you will, on where to put this. So I've taped the Shin spoon into place, so we know where that's going. And then I'm gonna glue this basically right to the top there, where it is. Welcome whoever has joined me. We're making Shin spoons. It's fun. So this is the part of the clone Shin that you need to do in order to make it appear seamless. Unless your boy is double jointed, he ain't gonna be able to get his foot or her foot or their foot through that hole. So you make a Shin spoon in order to remove this part but make it still seem like it is one piece. So that's what we're doing here. I'm using ABS slurry. This is chopped up pieces of that ABS plastic, like, you know, spare pieces, and then you mix it with acetone and it forms this putty paste kind of thing. What's going on, dude? Yeah, had a video this morning and building clone trooper armor this afternoon. So this, if it gets too thick, you can always add more acetone. If it gets too thin, you can always add more pieces of ABS, but you just kind of coat the piece like so. You stick it in here, just glue to that surface. And this one I'm just gonna have to hold here for a little bit because it's not really, nothing that I can really clamp there. Actually, I wonder if I could clamp it from the downside. I bet I could clamp it from the downside. And just do this because you really need some height in order to clip a tab down on top of it. That is how we do this. All right, so we'll let this sit for a little bit and get good and dry, and then do some more trimming on this piece. So you can see kind of the jagged edges in here where I cut the original Shin spoon out. Now I need to come in and tidy that up. And if you like the smell of burnt plastic, this is absolutely the job that you want to be doing, because that's all this is basically doing, is just melting this plastic out of the way. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. Wonderful smell. A wonderful smell you've discovered. Yeah, if you have any questions about what I am doing here or what I'm building, or want to know anything about this whole build process, just type it in the comments, please. Much cleaner, much prettier, much smoother. That's how we do. All right, so let's see. This is probably dried enough to where it's not moving much. So we've got that tab in there. Now what we need to do is create tabs on top of here that will basically hold this Shin spoon piece in when it's sitting on top. And so I think we're going to need a couple pieces in order to get that up to a level where it will sit. So I'm going to start with one. So I can take this Shin spoon out for it now. And now I'm basically just gluing a piece on top of this piece that I have there. Slightly curved one. It should stick really nicely. First like, thank you, I appreciate it. Absolutely, I appreciate it. Minecraft Roblox. Not my first, you're my first like on this video, but not my first like of the day. I do absolutely appreciate you though. 100%. 100%. So ABS slurry, just like a big paste, a big plastic paste. So the advantage of using ABS slurry is that it chemically melds the two plastics together and basically forms one, piece of plastic. So it, using science and shit, it basically makes it so it's a much stronger piece. That's why I prefer ABS slurry. It's clipped on there. ABS slurry when I can, as opposed to super glue, because super glue is just sticking two pieces together. The ABS slurry does a little chemical meld in there that it's magic. Magic. Yeah. So this is, I was just texting Alex, the guy who I'm building this for today. This is the process of the build where it really feels like you're not getting any type of progress made because it's just constant sanding. So I sand, and then I figure out that I need, to fill a little bit more of a seam there. So add some more ABS slurry, let it dry, sand again. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how I do that here as well. Those are really thick ones, so it should do pretty nice. So I just kind of get it on there, and I literally am just pressing it down into that seam to get that indentation filled. And then you let it dry and sand it. And you do this process again and again and again until you have seamless armor. Now, with most clones that are weathered, you can get to a certain point, and then, if you've got a big divot in there, you can always just turn that into a blaster mark or something like this. This is a glossy clone, shiny glossy, so there's nowhere to hide any of these things. So it is going to take slightly longer to get this thing basically perfect, pristine. So yeah, that's what we do. Yes, absolutely, people. Hit that like button. When you like it, and you trick the algorithm into telling other people that they would like it, even though we know they wouldn't like it. Unless you're like, really into this shit like we are. But let's trick the algorithm. We are smarter than computers. Maybe not smarter than, we're more versatile than computers. We can beat their algorithm. So again, just kind of get it into those seams and try to make this one seamless piece. Like so. So, some pieces are further along than others. Some pieces will take a lot longer than others. It's just kind of how the process goes. Let me tell you, wearing rubber gloves in a hot-ass garage in South Alabama in the summer is an exercise in futility. You want to know how I stay so skinny? Garage projects. Seriously, we wake up, it's 90 down here. I saw that the UK is, if there's any UK viewers here, that the UK is going through a heat wave of basically 80 degrees, and they don't know what to do. And shit, we wake up to 80 degrees. We wake up to 80. So you can see kind of all those little divots in there, the parts that aren't really sanded, that all needs to be filled. Divots. So is everybody excited for the Acolyte tonight? I think I'm actually kind of looking forward to the episode for the first time. I want to see, where they're going with this quote-unquote Sith. Not convinced that the dude with the smiley mask is the Sith. I think he may actually be the Acolyte. But looking forward to some Jedi fighting finally. Just I think I'm looking forward to. Ready to be disappointed, but I'm looking forward to. I have not been overly pleased with it. First couple episodes, I'd probably give like a 7. But after that, not so much. Okay, one more piece on top of this. Give it another little lip. So that's why, stuff pretty much glues relatively quickly. It'll set in place. It probably takes it a good hour to completely cure, but it's set in place and it won't really move around, after a couple minutes. Yeah, the way it ended was definitely, super psych. I am convinced, once again, that the, I don't even know what his name is, little Asian helper dude, he is the dude in the mask. But at the same time, I feel like they've made it so obvious that he is the dude in the mask that maybe he isn't the dude in the mask. But God, I hope they go somewhere with it. I just hope they go somewhere good with it. All right, other piece is glued and clipped on there. So we're gonna do this, and we'll do the same things on the sides here. So you'll have one clip up top, 2 clips on the side, and you just slide the spoon in there and kind of clip it in. Yeah. All right, back to the seams. Back to the seams. You can see this one's got some big kind of divots in there that we're going to have to fill up. I'm about at the point where I am going to have to add some more acetone to this slurry because it is getting kind of thick. Kind of thick. Yeah, I think, if I had to rank the Disney shows, the Star Wars Disney shows, Acolyte right now is probably the low point for me. I'll give it the full season before I give it an official ranking, but it's not as good as the others. Although I did see Andor news, Andor season 2, that Krennic's going to be in it, director Krennic. So psyched for that. Psyched for that. So after all this stuff ends up being painted, it kind of sucks. I start out with nice glossy black ABS that is exactly what I need to end up with, but then you've got to do this. So after this, I'll then prime it, paint it, and seal it with like a 2K clear coat. But yeah, you do have to paint the armor. There's some kits that you really don't have to paint. Like a TIE pilot, you don't really have to paint. Scout Trooper, I don't think you really need to paint that. But most kits you do have to paint on top of the ABS. So you buy a white ABS armor kit, build it, and then paint it white. Makes no sense, but that's kind of how it goes. Add that in there. So yeah, painting, you do have to paint the entire kit once you get it all put together like this. And another piece. Yeah, paint is your friend. Paint's actually my favorite part of the whole process, although it can be frustrating at times, especially given different weather conditions. Humidity and heat and cold can extremely affect the way paint reacts. So it can be frustrating. It happened with my Mando on a couple pieces where you get all the way to the clear coat and you spray that clear coat and then it, gives you an orange peel or like a spider web or something like that, and you have to kind of sand down and start all over again. But painting for me is probably my favorite part of the process. So when you kind of bring it to life. I have an airbrush for some accents, but mainly I use just spray cans. It's just easier for me. The airbrush I don't have a really good airbrush and it can be finicky, so I'll use it for different weathering and things like that. But mainly I do spray cans, and then I'll do weathering with brushed on acrylics, typically, and airbrushing for weathering. Yeah, the spray cans are just the easiest way. It'd probably be more affordable if I don't know how long it would, or how much it would cost to paint an entire set of armor with an airbrush, because it literally is a lot of painting. good news, like Mike at 850 Armor Works has actually, you know, offered me their painting service, which is, you know, basically like auto detailing paint as well. You know, more or less for cost. So if I wanted to get this painted, which I may actually bring that up to Alex and see if he wants to go that route, $300 you can get like an auto finished paint on this from 850. They've got like a really nice setup there. But yeah, that's, you know, I think that if you're doing full sets like this, you would more want like an auto paint setup than an airbrush setup. Airbrush is great for the smaller things. Timmy! Oh yeah, you know, you should get with Elvis on if you're doing a wood grain. He what he did on the Boba Fett blaster he sent me is, it's like outstanding. Dude can do some really, really cool stuff with paint, making it look like wood. So yeah, hit Elvis up for that for sure. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. Okay, I think we still need probably one more piece on top of that. One more. Yeah, Elvis is your man on wood grain paint tones. Dude is an artiste. He's a master. I paint with armor. My medium is armor. I think I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, tab number 3 should be enough. And I'm going to get that glued into place. So everybody got big plans for today. I'm off work, so about to watch House of Dragons with the wife. And probably do a little swimming later on. Just chill around the house and do a whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Summer is in full effect. And you can feel it heat-wise. I don't know if you can see. I'm sweating like a whore in church. I assume that church doesn't have air conditioning. If it was air conditioned. If it was air conditioned, even a whore wouldn't be sweating at church. So assumptions. So you can see I still have some spots on here that I need to fill as well. I'll probably fill that a little later. I do want to trim this piece up a little bit. Gloves off. I'm really just trimming this up because it is aesthetically pleasing. I like it to be a little smoother. Smooth. It's gotta be smooth. Gotta be smooth. Yeah, so I'm actually coming along quite nicely on this armor. So I did get the cod butt put together with their snaps in place, both sides. Ta-da. I still think it's cool I can put snaps on chip. So I got the cod butt done. Pretty much every piece is trimmed. You got your elbows, you got your knees. Still have foam padding to add to these in the backs of them. But yeah, everything is formed. Biceps, forearms. Saw the shins, thighs. Very recognizable. chest and back. All this stuff is getting ready to go. And then the next real 2 weeks basically is just going to be spent small projects like the Shin spoons, and then continuously doing this and sanding it down till it's smooth. I do need to check the thighs. I think I might need to shorten those just a little bit. That's the only piece left that I really have to size. And then it's just the construction part. I've got strapping and elastic on the way, as well as clips. They should be here next week or so, 2 weeks, so I'll be ready to go on that. But yeah, it's moving along nicely. So Alex, when you watch this, know that this stuff is coming along nicely. Probably about another about another month. So we'll have it all ready to go. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been a little bit of kind of how you put together Shin spoons. Once I get them all put together, I'll show you guys kind of what that whole thing looks like. So thanks for being here, y'all. As always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.